Welcome to the introductory lecture of the course Advanced Data Structures and Algorithms. And in this lecture and in the next lecture, we will be recollecting the prerequisite topics that you might have studied in your BTech course. So, we will be reviewing the basic prerequisite materials first, and after finishing them, we shall discuss about the topics included in the first module. And today we are going to review or recollect the basic aspects about an algorithm. So, the basics of algorithm that you might have studied in your BTech is going to be reviewed in this lecture. At first, we can try to answer this question: what is an algorithm? It can be defined as a finite sequence of steps or operations that transforms an arbitrary input of a computable problem or function into the correct output. So, it is a finite sequence of well defined operations to transform an arbitrary input of a problem into its correct output. If you want to look at an example, consider the problem of finding the position of a number n in a finite sequence A of natural numbers. So, given a finite sequence capital A of natural numbers and another number, say key, you have to find the position of that number in the sequence if it is present. You can have a finite procedure like this for finding this. So, this is the name, you are getting a finite sequence of numbers, another number, and you want to find the position and return through this argument. And assume that A dot length represents the number of elements in the sequence A, and an element can be accessed using this notation A at I. And so, what you can do is you can initialize the position as 0, assuming that the elements are stored from 1 to A dot length. If there are 10 elements, from 1 to n, so A 1 to 10. Now, what do you do? For each index value I in the set of all possible indices, say 1 to length, what do you do? You are checking whether the current element is n, then you set the position as the index of that element. And you can see that it is a finite sequence of operations. When I say finite, there is a loop, but you can easily verify that the statements inside the loop, these two, execute only these many times. If there are 100 elements, only 100 times. So, it is a finite sequence of operations, not an infinite sequence. And you can observe that it can find the position of any element in any finite sequence. If you pass any finite sequence and an arbitrary element, then the procedure can find you the required solution. And see that it finds the correct position of the given number if it is present in the sequence. and otherwise the position will be returned as 0. 0 means it is not present. If it is present, you will get a valid index from 1 to length, such that at that particular index or position the element will be present. Otherwise, it will return 0, indicating that the given element n is not present in the sequence. So, this is how the first statement defines an algorithm. It is a finite sequence of well defined and definite operations. And you can also define it as a well defined computational procedure that takes a single value or a set of values as input and produces a value or a set of values as output. This is another definition. And we can also view an algorithm as a tool for solving a well specified computational problem. So, given an algorithm, we can see that the computational problem is getting a solution, and in that way we can define computable problems. A problem is said to be computable if there exists an algorithm to find its solution. And an algorithm needs to be a precise description of the computational procedure to be followed. There should not be any confusion regarding what sequence of finite operations are required to get a solution. So, these are properties of algorithms, or how you can define an algorithm. Now, we can try to understand what an algorithm is using a very well known problem in computer science known as the sorting problem. Maybe we can try to devise an algorithm for this problem. So, before we go to an algorithm, see that it is a fundamental problem in computer science which is used in various other solutions. Now, if you want to define a sorting problem, then how will you define it? Formally, you can define it as this problem: given a finite sequence A of elements, for example, a sequence of natural numbers, find an ordered permutation of A, an ordered arrangement of the sequence, that is sorting. Example: sort a finite sequence of natural numbers in non-decreasing order. When I say non-decreasing, I mean if there are repetitions of elements, then it cannot be increasing strictly, but it can be non-decreasing. Now, let us look at a particular sorting algorithm, namely insertion sorting. We can try to understand the procedure to see how one can formulate an algorithm. Insertion sort employs an incremental algorithm to sort. Incremental means you will start with a single element which is sorted, then incrementally you can add elements to this sorted list. We can see an example. So, it incrementally builds the sorted list. That is why it is called an incremental algorithm. So, at the ith step, it inserts the next element to its required position in the already sorted sequence of I elements. Maybe at this point of time this statement is confusing. It will be clear when we look at the next few points. For this algorithm to start with, if you look at a sequence with a single element, whatever be that element, that is sorted. If you have only one element, that is of course in the required order because only one element. So trivially that is sorted. So what this algorithm can do is, in the first step, suppose you have only one element, then the list is sorted, right? Now you assume that okay, the first element is this single element which is already sorted. So you can start by trying to insert the second element into the list. The first element is the single sorted element, you can start with that. So the step 1 is to insert the second element to its required position in the sorted sequence with just one element. Not that, if you just look at the first element of the sequence only, that is sorted. Now what you do in the first step, from the remaining n minus 1 elements, you pick an element and insert it into the sorted list. Now you have only one element sorted. That is what I am trying to tell. So similarly in the second step, you will have two elements sorted. So a sorted list of two elements and a remaining n minus 2 elements. So you pick the next element from n minus 2 and try to insert it into the already sorted list of two elements, resulting in a list of 3 elements which are sorted. Okay. Similarly, you can continue, and finally in the n minus 1th step, what you can do is, already you have n minus 1 element sorted, so only one element is remaining in the other set. Take that element and insert it to the required position. I hope you are following me, otherwise an example instance will make it very clear. We are going to do that. Now you consider a sequence of 6 elements given here. You can see that this sequence is now not sorted. I want to arrange it in non-decreasing order. Okay. Now if you look at step 1, you can see that okay, only this element is sorted. So that is what I say. This green color means sorted, and I am going to insert now from the remaining n minus 1 elements, I am going to insert this element into the sorted list. Okay. Now you take that element as the key is now 23, and what you can do is you want to add it to the sorted list. Now only a single element, but you can see that now because 23 is less, it should come first. So how can you do that? What you can do is you move 45 to the right, because you already assigned 23 to key, you move like this. If you do that, you will get it. Okay, 45 is moved into this position, not that 23 was copied to key. Then after that, okay, what you can do is you just copy this 23 to this position. That is what you can do. It will result in this sequence. Now after the first step, you have 2 elements sorted. So what will be the step 2? 2 elements are already sorted. You look at the next element 98 and you want to now put it to the sorted list. Now you can see that because 98 is more than both these elements, nothing has to be done. It is already sorted. Okay. You have to move only if the new element to be inserted is less than these elements. Okay. So now that is not the case, because it is sorted and the last element is less than the new element to be inserted. That means you don't have to disturb the sorted list, you can just go to the right of it. Now you look at the next element. Here again you are lucky, because you can see that this is the sorted list where the largest element is less than the element to be inserted. That means this is exactly the position of that element. So nothing to be done. Now you have got, after step 3, 4 elements which are sorted. So in the 4th step, you will try to now insert 11 into this sorted list. So where should 11 go? To the first position. So as long you start from the right, as long as the element in the in that position is greater than this 11, you do a right shift. What you can do is, first you copy key here and then do this. Copy this element here, after that copy this element to this position, then like this, and after that finally 23 to this position. If you do that, or basically if you want to see, it's like A is the sequence, A at I is getting the value of A at I minus 1, as long as the value of AI is greater than or equal to key. That is what we are doing. So, you are getting this. So, all these elements are shifted one position to the left, sorry, right. Now, the I will be positioned here. So, you can say AI is equal to key, that is the statement. So, basically this is what you are assigning. So, you are getting n minus 1 elements sorted, and now the last step, 6 elements are there. So, the last step is step number n minus 1, or 6 minus 1 is 5. So, you are trying to insert here. So, you have to right shift as long as starting from the right, the value is greater than this key value. So, take key as 85, then you right shift. You do not have to right shift this because this is not greater than 85. So, you will move this here first and then this here. After the movement, this is the list. Now, you have got this as the required position, you assign it to that particular position and you will get the sorted list. Okay. And this is how you can think of devising an algorithm for this. If you have got this idea of incrementally adding elements to a sorted list, naturally you will get this solution. And if you recollect what we did, you can write the algorithm as this. If you remember, the first element, the single element was sorted, so you are starting from the second position onwards. So, what you did, whenever you go to the next position j, you are taking that element into key, right. Then from the previous position onwards, what you do, that is previous position is j minus 1. What you are doing is, as long as you move until here, that is I becomes greater than 0. As long as I is greater than 0 and the value of AI, that is like this, is greater than 11, you move right. That is what we did. Move right means you move the element from I to I plus 1, that is moving right, and you are decrementing I. And if you carefully observe, you can see that exactly this is what we did. Okay, after the loop, you have found a position for the element to be inserted, and you can see that it is I plus 1 because I is decremented. After the position is found, I was decremented, and that is why I is incremented, and you are putting the key there. It is not difficult to verify that this is exactly what we did or this is exactly what we need, and this is what is called insertion sorting. So, today we have recollected the basic information about an algorithm. So, we have seen various sentences defining an algorithm or properties of an algorithm. Then we also have looked at the sorting problem and a particular solution known as insertion sorting. We saw how one can incrementally add elements to build the required sorted list, and you can try solving an instance and then try to generalize it as a procedure and write it as an algorithm. Once you write, you have to verify that the procedure is satisfying all the requirements for an algorithm, like it must be a finite sequence, it must be well defined, each operation is having a unique solution for a given value, and the solution must be correct for any input. And if you satisfy, or if your algorithm or procedure satisfies all these requirements, you can conclude that you got a correct algorithm for the required computational problem. Thank you.